Hello, good morning. This is Dr. Ope Banwo, popularly referred to as Pastor O, and I want to welcome you again to the special edition for today of Kingdom Talk. Today, we are going to be, my job every morning as I share with you Kingdom Talk is to encourage you, to challenge you, and to motivate you to be the best that you can. Always keep it a date with me every day at 11 a.m. New York time, 6 p.m. Lagos time, 6 p.m. London time. Today we are going to be talking about what are you going to do about your potential. This is a question many people never really ask themselves for all their time on earth. They are too busy looking for what they don't have, or they are too busy about what is not perfect about their life. They are never busy enough to ask themselves, the little that I do have, what exactly am I going to do about it? Hopefully this morning as we share and I discuss with you on this special topic, what are you going to do about your potential? You can begin to arise from wherever you are. You can begin to get the strength, the energy, and the motivation for you to go out there and be the best that you can be. Not the best you hope to be, not the best you see somebody else being, but the best that you can be with what you have. Romans 12:6, which is the underpinning verse for this morning, tells us we have different gifts according to the grace that has been given to each of us. We all have different gifts. We all have different levels of grace. But what are you going to do about your own? So let's start with a few hypothetical questions. And if you are watching this, share this link with as many people as possible, with 10 people right now as you are watching this. Share it with your friends. And make sure you post your comments as I'm even discussing so that I can respond to them and help you with whatever it is you are dealing with relevant to this question for today. What are you going to do with your potential? Help me do that. Let's make this go viral. I want you to share this with at least 5 people right now on your Facebook page, maybe on your WhatsApp page or Instagram or whatever you're comfortable with. Let's talk about what are you going to do about your potential. So today we're going to start with a few hypothetical questions. Suppose Alexander Bell and his team had not persevered and ended up dying before they invented the telephone. Can you imagine that? Let me check. I just want to be sure this is live on Facebook page and is working. I think today I've had a couple of false starts where this was not working. All right, to see if my audio is on. Last time I was told my audio was not working, so I want to try again and see if this is actually working, but no, it's not. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Let me just double check to be sure I am not just talking to myself here. I want to try to pull it up on my phone just to be sure this is working. Right. In the meantime, you want to help me, if you can hear me while I'm trying to figure this out, can you help me share the link with as many of your friends as you can, please? Because we want you want your friends to hear what I have to say this morning, because I sincerely believe this will be a blessing to everyone that will be within the sound of my voice this morning. Okay, let me see here. Can please? All right. Because we want you want your friends to hear what I have. This is working. I can hear it on my phone. I'm so sorry that I seem to be having some technical challenge this morning. So let me put that. Okay, so we're going to start with a few hypothetical questions. Suppose Alexander Bell and his team had not persevered, and maybe he died or they all passed on before they invented the telephone. We may still be relying on horses and maybe foot messengers to carry the messages to each other now, or maybe we'll probably have ended up getting there, but we might have lost maybe 20 years, 50 years before somebody else came up with that idea. Suppose the Wright brothers had given up when their first experiment to invent the airplane failed. Or maybe were just they just became layabouts and refused to work on the vision that God has given them, or the ability that they had to create the airplane. Suppose Bill Gates had given up when he was rejected by IBM and died before inventing Windows. The potential of the microcomputer industry may have taken a lot of years to be realized, maybe never. Maybe that's the person sent in to introduce that idea. Suppose Michelangelo had died before he painted the Sistine Chapel. I mean, my son went with me, my first son, Femi, and the whole family. We went to Rome last year for vacation. And my boy got to the Sistine Chapel and he looked at the ceiling and he freaked out. He had a spiritual experience right there. For 10, 15 minutes, my boy could not get up. He was telling us, let us just leave him here. The boy had a spiritual experience just watching, just looking at the Sistine Chapel, the painting there. Imagine if Michelangelo had not painted it. Or millions go through that to the Sistine Chapel every year just to have that experience. Or maybe a Da Vinci had died without painting the Mona Lisa. The beauty of those paintings will have been lost to the world because they did not do anything with their potential. Okay, this is not philosophy time. Let's go back to the Bible for a second. Suppose Abraham had refused to go when God told him to leave everything and go to the land that he will show him. How different would the pages of scripture and even history have been? Suppose Paul had never used his painting and experience to powerfully take the gospel to the Gentiles, because he was shaped for that. He had the potential for that. He was trained as a lawyer. He was trained by the best. He was an executor. Suppose Paul had died without writing all those New Testament epistles. The man was a gifted writer, obviously. Well, you only need to read 1 Corinthians and to see the way, the talent of that man to write. Galatians and all those epistles that he read that now became a guide for Christians today. Suppose he had not written all of that. Suppose he has slept on his potential. How different will the face of Christianity have been today? Or for that matter, to even elevate this, suppose Jesus had not surrendered to the will of the Father in the garden and gone out there to go and fulfill his potential and his assignment. What if he had succumbed to the fear that almost took hold of him in the Garden of Gethsemane? I mean, we were told that he prayed and his sweat was like drops of blood because he saw the pain. He saw what was before him. But he went anyway. Or suppose he had even chosen to come down from the cross, because he got at the time on the cross, he was not able to communicate with his Father anymore. That's why he came up with this, Eli, 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 lama sabachthani. Why have you forsaken me, oh my God? If at that time he didn't feel God's presence with him, what if he had given up on his potential or his mission and chosen to come down from the cross? Where will you be? Where will I be? Where will the world be today? Since God is not given to frivolity, I'm one of those guys who believe strongly that everyone put on this earth has an assignment right here on earth and the potential to achieve it. Romans 12:6 again, we have all been given different gifts according to the grace that was given to us. We have all been given different gifts according to the grace given to us. The question is, what are you going to do about what you have been given? Not what you want, not what you think that you need, but what you have right now. All the abilities that you have that you don't appreciate while you're busy dreaming about something else. All the stuff that you are dreaming about instead of using what you have right now to be the best that you can be. What are you going to do about your potential? What are you going to do about your potential? You need to ask yourself that. Do you want to die before you max your gifts or your own gifts or your potential? Do you want to die empty or you want to die full of everything God gave you? Remember, no matter how full you are when you die, you cannot take anything with you, even if you are ultimately going to heaven. You came naked, you're going back naked. So what are you going to do with all those potential you have? Are you going to bury it or are you going to execute? Can you imagine how many great inventions, how many great software, how many great works of art, of music, literature are buried in the graveyard near your house or that you have ever been to? Somebody said that the richest place in the world is a graveyard because that is where you see all the dreams that were never brought to reality buried. That is where the dreams of the best software are buried. The dreams of some of the greatest life-changing solutions for medicine were buried. Can you imagine? And I need you to really think about this. How many solutions to the problems we face today are buried with someone you knew that had died, who had been talking about that idea, who has the potential to do it, who has the dream to do it, who has the ability to do it, but did not. Too many people die without without fulfilling their full potential. Too many people die without fulfilling their assignment. You don't want to be that part of that statistics. You don't want to carry your wealth to the grave. They did because they failed to use all that was taught in them for the benefit of mankind. You have no right to go to your grave with all that potential that God gave you. It's a disservice to humanity. It will be a disservice to God if you let that vision, that dream, that ability that you do have go to the grave with you. What would the world lack because you fail to live up to your potential? Because you're not going to carry the software, the songs, the books, the medical cures, the discoveries that you are put on this earth to discover. You're not going to carry it to your grave. God created you and placed all that potential in you for a reason. God put you where you are right now for a reason. God allowed you to come into this world as a black person or a white person or a Latino person for a reason. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to live and die in fear of failure without fulfilling your purpose or maximizing your potential? That's the question I want to ask you today as we are talking kingdom talk. This is about the kingdom now. This is not just about the church. I'm talking to you whether you're a believer in Christ or not. You have a potential. You have been put here to do something. Are you going to live or die in fear of failure without fulfilling your purpose or maximizing your potential? Are you going to live and die and just become somebody who could have been? Are you going to live and die blaming the system, blaming your color or your country or your mother-in-law or the wishes in your village for carrying all that potential that you have to your grave? Remember, like I always love to quote, the entire creation waits for the manifestation of people that God has put on this earth. Entire creation waits for the manifestation of the people of God. The next level in God's plan for the next village, for the next country, for the next person cannot begin to unfold until you play your part. You don't want God to go to plan B where you are concerned. God's will still always be established at some point, but it might get delayed because you don't do the will of God. The Israelites were supposed to spend less than 40 days to get to the promised land, but they ended up spending 40 years because they refused to recognize the God that delivered them. They refused to recognize the potential that God has put in them as a people who should trust Him for their direction. The next level in the game cannot even be played until you play your part. So today, as a kingdom citizen, I challenge you to commit to maximizing whatever it is that you have been given. Even if you are born blind, maximize it. I just got a message on WhatsApp from one gentleman. His name is Abiodun something. He told me he is blind, but he has written 4 books, and that somebody was telling him about me and how I can help him bring out his potential. So he sent me a WhatsApp message. Blind man has written 4 books. You have eyes. What have you done? And I felt so humble and challenged. I sent him a message back. Send me a couple of those manuscripts. I'm going to read it And I'm going to do my best if it is worthy to help this blind man to bring his book to the world. I don't even need him to pay me, because that's why God put me on this earth, to help people actualize their vision. I am a catalyst. I know that. I help people bring things to life. But I was so impressed that a blind person who had the potential to write books still went ahead and executed that anyway. He wasn't blaming those who made him blind or those who made him to be born blind. He didn't blame the fact that he was born in a Nigeria where things don't work. If you are born without feet, maximize your hands. John Fope, go Google that man. He said, what is your excuse? The man was born without arms and his feet were shriveled. Yet he became a superstar anyway, a motivational speaker. He can speak. He had no arms, he had no leg, but he maximized his voice and maximized the little body he has. The man can cook his own food. He can make his own bed without having arms. It's unbelievable. You need to Google him. John Fope, F-O-P-P-E is his name. You will see the video of him swimming, cooking, speaking on stage, and yet he was born without arms. Even his feet were shriveled. What are you going to do about your potential? You are where you are right now for the perfect purpose of God. There is no mistake here. I challenge you. Commit to whatever it is that you have been given. You are in the situation you are in right now to help that, because it will help you fulfill your purpose on earth. There's a reason why you are where you are. There's a reason you are going through what you are going through. Don't waste it. Don't waste your pain. There's a reason you have that pain. It is to an expected end. You need to hustle. Don't waste your pain in self-pity. So what if Donald Trump closed immigration to Nigerians for one reason or the other? So maybe there's a reason why you need to be where you are right now, so that you don't escape here and then you end up not fulfilling your assignment. Don't waste time in coveting what you do not have. Too many of us, we sit down, we come up with something that we want on our own, and because we don't have the potential for that, we start chasing it. Then we leave the potential that we do have. Don't waste it because of fear of failure. Many of us have amazing ideas. I've come across some guys in my time, but this is what I do. I've come across some young men, 22 years old, 23 years old, 24 years old, with amazing ideas. But they're paralyzed by fear of failure, by what they don't have. They'll tell you, I don't have money, as if you need money to be able to step forward first. When you step forward without your great idea, money will flow. I've got some guys who have great ideas, but they even refuse to share it because they say they're afraid somebody will steal it. And at the end of the day, they die without ever bringing that idea, without ever bringing that idea to life, because they are too afraid of people stealing it from them. Ideas mean nothing until you execute it. There's a reason why in law you cannot copyright an idea, because idea means nothing. Even a dog has an idea. Until you do something with it, there's no value. So you cannot copyright an idea, in case you didn't know that. So when you are holding it to your chest, it might be an idea you can't execute anyway. But God gave you that idea so that He can give it to somebody who can make it happen. That's why I have no problem sharing vision that God gave me with people, because I can't execute it all. But I have a very fertile mind. God gives me ideas almost on a daily basis when I'm showering, when I'm sitting down watching TV. How many am I going to do? So I better say it out there. Somebody can pick it, and people are doing that. I've seen guys do incredible things with some concepts that I introduced. That is me fulfilling my own side for creation. Don't waste your talent. Don't waste your potential because of fear of failure or because of what people will say. Who knows? Maybe your failure may actually be the catalyst for many other things in your life and that of others. I've only seen where somebody's failure has triggered something else that changed the world. I could go on, but I want to keep making this kingdom talk very short now. I don't want to make it too long, so I'm done. Don't be supposed to have been great. Be great. Be a testimony of what was, not what could have been. Many of you right now, all they can say about you is that, oh, that guy has the potential to be great. May that not be the end of your story. Your story should be, by the special grace of God, that he was here and he changed the game in this area. Why? Because we are going to step out in the little strength that God has given you, and you are going to go execute. Everything that you have to achieve what you need to do now is already in you. God will not put in this moment without giving you everything you need to fulfill your destiny in this moment. So stop waiting. Go in the strength that you have and take territories. And that is the Kingdom Talk for today. I hope and I expect to start hearing testimonies from you guys as you go out. For those of you within the sound of my voice now, receive power, receive strength to be able to go in the strength that you have. Receive the boldness to go out there and say, who is this Goliath? Who is this dog that is standing between me and my destiny? Receive the courage to pick up those stones, as small as they are, and start flinging it at the Goliath that stands between you and the gate of your destiny. And as you begin to conquer, share your testimonies. Your testimonies will encourage others. Share it on our Facebook page. Post your comments. If you're having challenge fulfilling your potential, post it as a comment here. You never know who will have an answer for you. I'm always checking all my presentations. If I receive your comment there, I will respond as best as I can to help you. But even if I don't respond, so what? Somebody may read that, and the response they give you may transform your life. You got to go in the potential that you have. What are you going to do about your potential? Not tomorrow, not next year, today, right now. When you leave this broadcast, what are you going to do about your potential? Let me tell you what I'm going to do for myself. I have a couple of webinars to finish up. As soon as this broadcast is done, I am going to finish them. Then I'm going to set the webinar times so that I can manifest. I have a couple of software that I need to review that we're creating for the church so that those who are doing God's work can use this software to take their ministries to the next level. I'm going to review it. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow. I have several books on cooking, of all things, that some of my colleagues have worked with me to create. My job is to get it out there. And I'm going to call that blind man right after this call to ask him, how can I be of help? See, I am not waiting till tomorrow. There are a lot of stuff that I need that I won't get today. But I'm not going to wait for tomorrow before I start going. What about you? You got to take that step now, not tomorrow. There's something you can do about your potential right now. For some of you, just to pick up the phone and call somebody. For some of you, just to open up your computer and start typing. For some of you, to get in the car, get in the bus, and go meet somebody. Don't wait till tomorrow. Nobody guaranteed you tomorrow. Do it. This is Dr. Ope Banwo, and I'm out on Kingdom Talk for today.